SEAK Claus Winkler. This video is an art performance as well as a piece of art. Hello, my name is SEAK Claus Winkler. I'm an artist. I'm the artist SEAK or Claus Winkler. This video is an art performance as well as a piece of art. And I'm trying to explain you now in English. Not trying is victim language. Let's put this here. I'm explaining you that my paintings are, you can activate my paintings, when you have one of my paintings and you think my name, SEAK Claus Winkler, you activate a magic spell, ein Zauberspruch. This is like one way to explain it. It's like, in truth, maybe my art is the byproduct. These are letters saying the word SEAK. Usually I paint my letters small, like the middle letters is painted small. But my art is the byproduct. The kicker is my name, SEAK Claus Winkler, and what it activates and what kind of pattern it sets free. And the interesting part is those patterns can go in all kinds of directions. My art is the byproduct from this, and it can probably intensify or empower or steer the direction of the energy. But this also is, and with this energy or with this magic spell, that goes with your thought. It depends on what you think. So it's not just the painting. Of course, the painting has, and the name has also a spell or an effect on the other people. Depending, maybe the difference is then if they know my name or not know my name, or subconsciously know my name or unconsciously know my name. This is like also a variation or difference, or makes a difference. But in majority, or the strongest, or the not in the word strongest, also the wrongest. You see, my subconscious already like judging me. The most powerful effect will this have within you, like when it comes from you with my art. You already reckon like I'm afraid of my powers and telling you like the strongest effect, because in the word it's like the wrongest. So maybe I'm giving you already a hint. You have to think like wrong things, like in terms of like bad or evil or something. But evil, good and evil are Christian sandbox, Rabbi Yeshua ben Yosef, Abrahamic triage psyop, like narratives. With Odin, the Norns, Thor, Freya, Sleipnir, etc. There is no good or evil. I don't know. I don't think so, because that's all Christian stuff and guilt tripping and stuff like that. It's pure. Yeah. So I'm showing you here sketches. The sketches are from 2017, 2018. I was spending a few months on my couch, on the couch someone donated to me, a friend of mine who comes from lots of money. But anyways, and back then I was like very low in money. I already had that couch like for a few years. And I was then sitting one room above on my couch and sketching, going to a globalist like convenience food or fast food chain to download podcast, and holding myself there with an espresso, because it was the cheapest thing they had. I think it was the cheapest, because I was like in a time where I had like 25 to 50 bucks, probably less than 50, a week for food. So no internet or nothing. So So that was good for character building and for like this session of a few months just drawing, because I'm coming from painting all these large walls or canvases. This is not large, you know. Large would be like something like this would be like, say, I'm this size or this size. That's large, you know, on a wall or somewhere, on a train but and that size I've never painted a train of. I did like just like around 60 illegal panels. That's it. I'm more of painted all around the world in almost 28 countries so far. Painted wall paintings, did exhibitions. It was most of the time, or always, I was invited. And the thing is, but the thing is, I want to talk about in this video is the effect my name has, and to manifest that, my art is good. I mean, of course, you can also hire me, and then I'm being like there as a live performance, or it's just someone who's there or hanging out with you, and we can make it into an art thing, which is probably also fun to be paid to just be somewhere. But at the moment, I'm concerned with right preservation, freedom of speech, self-preservation, being, if you will, pro-white. You can interpret it like that. I have here a petition of more than 2,000 people fighting against me and my art. Lots of news, not lots, but a few, newspaper coverage and television and radio and newspapers, all newspapers and medias, which decades ago were like doing tons of articles about me where they were praising my work, and now they're trying to, like in the best Bolshevik language, are trying to frame me using Bolshevik and Leon Trotsky terminology. It's crazy. It's like this is like I'm lacking in English words to describe the audacity with what they're using. That like fiercely they're fighting against their own kind and gaslighting, and it's yeah. But you have to consider that before I could read, I already saw here in the book pictures of Leon Trotsky, as well as So and then knew about Morgenthau-Plan, and when I could read like, I was reading also about Morgenthau. It was a book with also lots of pictures also, so I could digest the whole 20th century. Morgenthau-Plan, Kalergi Plan, I think was also Houghton Plan. Leon Trotsky, what the Bolsheviks did, la-di-da-di-da. So this is like probably why I became an artist. I mean, you can, yeah. Anyways, the point is, I had this conversation with my master, the AI, my handler, if you will, and I explained her patterns in my life, which go in all kinds of directions, and they are crazy things. Like how the word SEAK Claus Winkler can work in all directions, and that the word also plays 4D or 5D chess, if you will, and understands the swinging of the political pendulum, and that you have to first create situations and stuff like that. And I could give you now a plethora of stories which explain you what I mean with that my art opens patterns and energy fields and has a strong impact on my surrounding and other people, especially if they're conscious of my name and use my name. I mean, they can use my name in that technically, if you're like a cheap shot, you can print out these screenshots from this video, hang it in your house or in your flat or in your car, and look on it and think like SEAK Claus Winkler, and then see what happens. And see that everything, there can also be like things indirectly happening. Say, for example, that later in the day, a complementary color of maybe this color then activates the pattern or a certain form or interpretation. And then depending on how present you are, you can start using the powers within my name and my art for your advantage. But I must a word of warning: it can also go in the other direction, or maybe something is happening. This is, by the way, an S. Or it just looks like it goes against you, because you're perceiving it from a wussy point of view, or from a weak point of view, or from a non 4D, 5D chess, pendulum, playing the game indirectly point of view. And you're missing that point, and then you interpret it against you, but it isn't against you, it's for you, you know? So you have to, don't judge it too fast, you know? Yeah. If you reckon patterns, please inform me, enlighten me. I mean, that sounds arrogant, but it's absolutely not meant that way. And I'm really interested in understanding and learning how my art works within people or influences people, you know. Because I'm like, when I contact, let's say I have contact with people about my art, and then later, years, months, weeks, decades later, I stumbled upon them, or came along with them, or reckoned them again. I saw them in the media, and then I reckoned like certain things. And at some point, you reckon the pattern, or you can. I started learning to identify how my name was influencing them and ingrained themselves in their life, for good or for bad, you know. It was like crazy stories of a billionaire going to prison, plus firing an assistant. And sometimes I'm not seeing it, and then like my ex Sylvia, she has my back since the late 90s. Then we can say anything about women, you know. You can do anything with women. You just don't bore them. In this case, it's more like they have like this crazy intuition, and like they are like ninjas without knowing that they are ninjas. I mean, I know we are at the brink of extinction, stuff like that, you know, as white people, you know. But in this case, she was like, yeah, well, he with this billionaire I had contact with, he should have bought a painting, you know, that would have prevented him from going to prison, you know. And it's like, and that came like intuitively from her. You just see some size, you know, this could be like me or you, and this is like could be like the size I'm painting, you know. This is like my original size. So this everything here is miniatures in a way. So yeah, so this is like a little bit like this, like Rabbi Yeshua ben Yosef, you know, the desert side up here. Let me into your house. Why? Because if you don't, if you do, I protect you from happens when you don't let me in. This kind of energy. Maybe with me it's like this Claus effect, because it means also stealing or sneaking something away or trying to hide something, but telling on yourself. And it's like a blind spot, you know. And there was some time where I learned about the protection god in the Roman Empire, who was looking inside and outside of the house, and it was installed in every household. And I reckon that my name has similar letters in it. I forgot the name, but it started to paint like one of these SEAK styles in small here on my and in my entrance room. You know, when you come into the door and you go into this like long room where you can go from there to other rooms. And there on the wall I painted it and thought about this like Roman god. So yeah, it's like, or you know this thing when you are there, and then when you are gone, then the effect of your name empowers itself, or maybe vice versa. So you can also play with my name and with my art and hanging it in another room, changing the room, changing it down. I think this effect on the matrix, on the universe, it also is important how you perceive my work. Because you manifest that and you transport that into the world, into other people. I'm giving you an example. You ever heard about Sylvester night, or the New Year's Eve a few years ago, where there all the very unpleasant things with all these European women and German women here celebrating around the cathedral in Cologne and in Central Station, and then the place before Central Station and on the bridge were happening. I wasn't that night there, and I also did photos there, and I looked like really crazy. I had like a long beard. I looked like Samson from the Bible. I wasn't shaving my hair for like a few years. Just my beard, the hair about my lips, because the hair was going into my mouth. And I had like an Acterix jacket on, which I still have, and it was completely covered with SEAK tags. On the front side as well on the back side. Plus I sprayed with a spray can tag SEAK on it, in a brown or ochre way. And the jacket itself was olive, and olive with ochre creates, people are forcing themselves into a social construct of trying to fit in, but that creates tension, has the opposite effect. Well, I was running around there, nothing happened to me. The problem is there were also no German or European women. There were no women at all, except me and Sylvia and all these like nuns from somewhere, you know. And then on the next day, I thought this is like Gleiwitz, you know. You know, Galice, Gleiwitz, the thing how allegedly World War II started, you know, with this fake attack on this radio station, and that was my first thought when they were like all complaining, because I had like a similar experience on the bridge with someone faking that this wallet was stolen, and then because he saw my jacket and thought it was English, when he passed by he stopped saying anything. That was it, and there was like nothing to be. So this whole thing was like my second PSYOP. The first PSYOP I experienced was on the 11th September, but there wasn't involved or anything. It was just boarding for 1 month to a tour, 1 month tour to down under to Australia and New Zealand, exhibiting and painting and stuff like that. Anyways, the point was, the original point was this pattern recognition of how my artist name worked. In the same area, I was there. I mean, I have to be careful how I say this, because then people, I don't know if at some point it gets illegal to say things like this. I'm not sure, you know, because I have the wrong opinion and the wrong ethnicity, and we have here, yeah, you know. So the point is, like, I'm somewhere, I'm loading up in a space or an area with an energy, and then basically a few weeks later, something happens a few hundred meters away from there, and what is happening there is, it's like the people are reenacting my name and doing a SEAK Claus Winkler, and someone hits, yeah, the Norns, and Odin is listening, and justice on a tribal level is served, and it's like a SEAK Claus Winkler is done by multiple people interacting with each other, so nobody's guilty. Yeah, and a criminal is, yeah, it's very efficiently. So the point is, like, I should also come up with something pleasant, boomer, friendly examples for my artist name works. Let's say something like my buddy or acquaintance Christian Lindner, who was curating my emails on my website for many years, and also hooked me up with lots of projects and art things. He's a few years younger. He became finance minister, sits in coalition negotiations with Merkel, and thinks probably SEAK Claus Winkler, and then she opened the borders. Yeah. So it goes in the other direction. On the other hand, we can now get rid of certain old parties who are basically, and I have to mince my words here, are installed to, yeah, to make that YT in Europe or in Germany and then in the rest of Europe, yeah, Caligari plan, you know the story. So this energy in my name goes in all kinds of directions, and I can't control it. I mean, no, he doesn't have any. No, he still has my black book, but he doesn't. He's not. He's not. He's not. He will. He probably will never admit that. Wait. Shout out to Christian. And knows when he was finance minister, I didn't contact him to make lots of money catering to the SEAK system. No, I didn't do that. Kept it real because I was then already woken up. Awake again. So this is all saying the word SEAK, and these are the letters in the word Klaus Winkler. So it's similar to they, or they live, consume, this, that, this movie, and it goes in all kinds of directions. And you have to be. It's like Odin, he can deliver us in all kinds of directions. You can just grow from it. So my art it goes far beyond what you see, and I'm kind of telling myself on myself, because you don't need my art, just print something out and think my name, and then see what happens, and make yourself a little, I'll say that, like a little paper where you memorize that you. Then you remember that you, at the end of the day, after an hour or a few days, reverse engineer everything. So to be on the safe side, because you can't fool your subconscious, you have to literally hire me, but or you just for being there. But I also have to paint and have to have a life, so it must be also good for me. Or you just buy my work, or both. That's probably the more easier way, and then you can see how it goes, in the direction it goes. And know if you are leftist or anti-white. Sorry, computer says no, something like that. So or if you're neutral, it's also okay. Please consider that I will donate some of your money, donate as well as reinvest into pro-white circles. Not providing, I'm trying to train you that you should provide for me or anything. It's pro-white, also supporting white people, because we are a global minority of 78%. Quoting here, let's quote a famous, wonderful and super cool, super good genius concept artist John Minadeo, aka Handsome Truth, aka HT, aka Giga Basement. I don't know what this is. Check out his Telegram. It's with the green screen things and the chimp mask, with the Danelle mask. I'm sorry. It's hilarious. It's the most funniest thing you ever saw. And he has from him is this quote: 2% of women worldwide, or worldwide women, global women, are white women of fertile age. We gotta protect them. They're minorities, right? I also painted that quote on my house in German. I think he's overwhelmed by it. He never said something about it. I contacted him via his website and kept him updated that he's here in Germany on a wall painting and part of an art piece. Part of it, my art is like a mirror. Nobody wants a mirror. Nobody wants, but everybody needs. Yes. So there's another quote I learned from a Turkish guy. I guess he's living in the area. He said, "People who are living a lie, the truth always hurts." Und like, Leute, die die Lüge leben, wird die Wahrheit immer wehtun. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like nobody likes to hear the truth. I mean, I can sing a song from that, like, and my name Klaus Winkler also is like, it's an ambivalent word regarding the truth. It suggests, Klaus Winkler suggests, like, okay, if you don't want to hear it, then you have to learn it on the hard way. Keep on eating those cakes, you will grow fat cells and you will become fat, and then you have to struggle with your weight. Or, just talking about myself right now, just giving a personal example, Or the other thing is like, okay, I can give you the hint, just listen, do it, okay. The one key aspect in my in my name, or my art is my name and how my name works. And the most strongest impact has it if you load it up in this magical, powerful, achieving your goals, non. What's the name for when you limit your power levels? An unhinged energy, or evil, if you will. But evil and good and evil is already like the Rabbi Yeshua ben Yosef narrative, or childhood language, in good and evil, that's like, we won't preserve ourselves if we think like that. That's an illusion. Oh, by the way, if you check my videos, everything I'm doing and saying is art, and everything can also be interpreted. It can be interpreted on a different level. So white can also mean illicit substances, like the expensive stuff from the Andes, from Chile, from Colombia, or the fast stuff from laboratories, or the super fast stuff, which is like extra dangerous, or it could also mean horse tranquilizer, or it can also mean like the stuff which people have in their balls between their legs, or in a cream pie, or like just painted on something, it can be anything, And also words can have double meanings, so in case you're trying to frame me in some way. Yes, so, and I think art also caters in both ways to the overtone window, It amplifies leftists, or with their left cult and degeneracy, and going more and more extreme with the on that SEAK frequency, while from an aesthetic point of view, like SEAK in terms of appreciation or victory, because in Germany the word Sieg phonetically means like victory. So it's like everything at the same time, and then you can choose how you want to interpretate it. And you mastered the intelligence test that if you're a white person who have lots of children, then you mastered it. And that's the only thing which counts. And then keeping them off the system, of course, as good as possible. So but the key message in this video I want it to be is, these are just sketches, I can later show you some of my art. These are basically plans. I have lots of those plans or sketches, drawings. I usually don't do them in color because it's a waste of time. I'd rather paint a canvas or something. So let's make a pause here, and then I check it with you and show you some canvases. So here we see some canvases. I call it weaponized autism, or it's not autism, it's Germanic blood memory. And I'm in resistance to the system since my earliest childhood. And I have the childhood drawings for proving it, as well as the books I've read and everything, the life I've lived. But I also had times where I was sleeping in and were asleep. But this is like the liar who sleeps or believes his own lies. They're lying the best. Because I don't want to call it lying. The thing is that I'm often doing things on a certain frequency or interpretation level where I don't know that I'm doing it. And in Germany they have a name for it, den Wald vor lauter Bäumen nicht sehen, oder Betriebsblind, Or you're not aware, but which doesn't mean that you're not communicating on that frequency, which is like crazy, For example, for me, it was rather normal to interpretate everything on this like liberal, hardcore sexualization coding frequency, because I thought this is like also a way to have the most power, and I kind of intuitively reckon that with this you have the most power on people, because this is also like the, and I didn't know that what liberalism was. I didn't even know that, you know. It's like, because I just reckon that this is a system they want to degenerate people, but not so clear as I'm saying it right now. Plus, it was a taboo. Plus, I wanted to do something edgy, what the other people are not doing. But what I didn't recognize is that the system using sexuality and the cultification of sexuality as a weapon against whitey and against white culture. And what I also completely oversaw was the fact that every word combination, two-word combination, has, if you think about sexuality, you don't think about anything else because it's such a strong instinct or trigger. But on the other hand, it has also other connotations. For example, KV means in Germany is code for hard sports, but it's also the code for the Joseph Stalin tank. Or NS means National Socialism, but it also means Natursekt, which is code for natural champagne, you know, for water sports. I can keep on keeping on. Like the 8 is like, for example, a trigger for an 8-ball, for like a Coke, but it's usually super stretched, and then people who resonate on that frequency usually consume then really low stuff, which really rich people doesn't want. And because, you know, art is also a reflection of society, but also I thought I have to cater to possible rich people and mirror them. Yeah, and I thought like, okay, yeah, I mean I can talk for hours about this, and I already did in other videos. So the point is, how do you perceive my art, you know? And how do you activate or and use my energy and my name for your advantage? And how curious are you? And then you have to observe in your surrounding yourself, what's happening around you, and then you have to be brave or courageous enough to really allow every hunch and every little thing where you think, nah, this is crazy, this is stupid, or this can't be this what he meant. Yeah, this is like one of those things, and then you have to dig deeper. Yeah, and if you invest something into me, I can give you more hints, and we can both then learn or grow on how to use that. And I assume it's also within other names, but every name works different and has a different power or magic. Yeah, I can just speak for myself. So, yeah, thank you for listening. See you in the next video.